I am so excited. Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to have Deborah Voorhees here and Kara here with me. And I'm Debbie Duncan. And oh gosh, so much to cover in 1 hour here. We're going to have also a giveaway. And I've already kind of teased that to everybody. And with Deborah's permission, I am going to be uh, myself going ahead and giving away a couple of the DVDs when they come out to two people here. I'm going to go ahead and put a banner down there. There we go. And I'm so excited. We are going to be talking about 13 Fanboy and also about Deborah Voorhees. And Deborah, oh my goodness, well, number one, you're a celebrity. And I love that you go to all the cons and the festivals and all of that. That must be really exciting. But you have so many credits to your name. And you were, I think, of course, everybody's going to know you from Friday the 13th. And so you were an actress there.
Right.
And did you do anything besides acting in that movie?
Not in that one. I did work behind the scenes on the TV show Dallas. I was a stand-in. I stood in for, basically what you do is, while the actors are getting ready and stuff, they need somebody to stand while they're doing lighting. So I did stand in for all of the dark-headed women. So like Linda Gray, Victoria Principal, and such.
Oh,
So, but I also acted in it, and so a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Well, you're amazing because not only did you act, I have here that you were a teacher, editor, a writer, a producer, of course, and the director for your movie.
Right.
It's amazing. Why did you decide that you wanted to make your own movie?
Well, you know, I didn't really want anybody else to define who I was. And I find, especially in today's world in filmmaking, you really have to make your own path. And so jumping out there and doing it yourself is the best way. I started 10 years ago with a very small, very funky little comedy called Billy Shakespeare. It was a what if comedy. What if Shakespeare never existed until now? Then I wouldn't, on that one, that was my first go around. I made so many mistakes. I got a lot of things right. I love the story of it. And, but I love most of all the things that I learned in that. And then I went and did a little art flick. It was a black and white film called Catching Up. And it was about a socialite who is obsessed with murder. Basically, she had done everything in her life and been given everything in her life, but she'd never seen the seedy underbelly of the world. And that's what really fascinated her. And then I did tons of shorts, music videos, and this sort of thing. Basically, got my chops up, felt like I was ready to go, and decided that, I never wanted to go and ask somebody's permission. Hey, hire me. No.
Yep.
I prefer to go and make my own path and do my own thing. And this was definitely, and I'm not saying that if it was the right project and somebody would like to hire me, that would be lovely. But for the most part, I want to do the projects that interest me and push them through and talk about, when you start with nothing but an idea, and then it expands and becomes a script and then becomes a movie and then becomes distributed and on and on and on. It's pretty mind-blowing.
It was a huge undertaking for you because I know that you must have done some writing, you directed, you produced it. But look at all the people that you brought into it. And I'm going to give this over to Kara because I know Kara has some questions for you.
oh yes. Now, not to play on the name of your movie, but I'm fangirling right now. Um, I am a true connoisseur of the Friday the 13th franchise. And
Awesome.
you brought in so many of the fan favorite characters. And Junior being Dee Wallace's fictionalized husband was was the biggest shock, but their chemistry was amazing, as if they could have been married in real life.
Right.
How did you decide to pair them?
I had actually met up with Ron many years later after, of course, after Friday the 13th. We were at a horror convention, and we ended up spending some time together and really getting to know each other. And we became very good friends and became good friends with his wife, Lisa Sloan, as well. And I had it in my mind. I knew he was a talented actor. And I was like, yeah, my next film, I've got him in my mind. I want to use him for something. And that just seemed like the right combination. And the two of them really worked well together. It was interesting. I actually had some fans message me and say, "Oh my God, I sat there and I had to go and look it up to see if they were really married in real life."
That's how good they were. They were just,
Right.
I mean, it was amazing. And Kane Hodder, his, his acting was so, I mean, it made you feel for him. And
That scene, I won't say too much about it,
right.
but that last scene when he talks about his father,
Oh God, yeah.
that's a true story.
It
That's
made,
Oh,
a
wow.
true story. There was not a dry eye in the room. There
no,
was,
I cried. I cried. I don't cry watching horror films. He
yeah,
made me cry.
yeah,
I, I'm thinking, oh my God, he's this robot killer in all these movies, and and he made me cry. He made me
right.
just, oh
Well, each character, since they were being asked to play themselves, I wanted them to be real to them. And what's the irony? The one that most of not, I mean, for the most part, 90 something percent of the fans absolutely love that. But some have gotten irritated, like Kane would never do that, and Kane would never say that. And I'm like, you're mistaking the monster for the man.
exactly.
The
Because
man is a very sensitive, loving human being, and he has gone through these struggles. That conversation that he has with Jennifer about not getting some acting roles, that's true to his life.
yeah,
So each person had something about them that was true,
well,
because you can't ask somebody to be themselves
exactly.
and not put themselves into it. Like Dee Wallace, she's just this wonderful, loving woman. So she had to be wonderful and loving in the film.
Yes, and
She
you,
was great. She
oh
was great.
yeah, but
Oh, she's brilliant.
you took two of the fan favorite Jasons and put them in this movie together.
I know.
And I think, CJ Graham and Kane Hodder, they also have a chemistry together.
Hmm.
Kane, obviously, we know Kane took over the role for part 7 after CJ
Hmm.
was in part 6, but they just meshed also on screen. They didn't have a lot of scenes together, but you could feel how everyone had this bond.
CJ was really interesting to work with, and obviously we have an incredible fight scene with him. Both of them have really great fight scenes, but
Yes.
the most intense one is with CJ. And he is an absolute mountain of a man, but he speaks very, very softly. And he told me the reason he does that is so he doesn't want anybody to feel fearful or intimidated by his size. So he speaks very softly to put others at ease. Both of these men are very strong and can be formidable actors and stuntmen, but both of them care very much about being gentle with people. So they're my gentle monsters, my gentle giants.
Well, I do remember, I think it was Friday the 13th, part 8. Kane
Mhm.
refused to kick a dog because he said even Jason would never do that. He would not kick a dog, and he wouldn't even pretend to do it. I thought that,
Right,
that was amazing. That spoke to me on how well he knew the character, and
right.
leads into how well he did in 13 Fanboy.
Yeah. Well, and there were a couple things like there was one. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was something I had written. But he didn't feel that it was respectful enough to women, and so and I can't remember what was it, but he changed the wording for what he was more comfortable with. I'm like, go for it. Yeah.
You
And it was just something where he was supposed to be razzing her, teasing her, but he wasn't comfortable with that. And I love the man for that.
Yeah, you have an all-star cast. I mean, from the beginning to the very end. And I love the fact that you act in the movie. That was amazing. I loved it. You know,
I was so scared.
Oh no.
was because I hadn't acted in a couple decades. It was like, do I even know how to do it anymore? And when you're directing, you're in your analytical brain because you've got a lot of technical things happening. For acting, you need to be in your emotional brain. How do you do both? So basically what I had to do is I went over with my DP the shots and everything that I wanted, and then I had to disappear into my emotional side. And I did not go back and look at anything because I didn't want, to be looking at it and going, how sometimes you can be like, ugh, what did I do? And I wanted to stay true to the emotions and not worrying about what was over there on the camera.
You could see the terror in your eyes. You can't tell that you did not act in 2 decades. You were amazing. I was all over again. I'm like, oh, she's my favorite character again, just like in the movies, in the Friday the 13th Part 5.
Thank you.
Can we mention the name Corey Feldman?
I got a story about that.
Oh my gosh.
One of the things that was so funny about working with Corey, he took my script, he read it, got the gist of this character. Then he took the script and he went,
Ooh.
Not in a literal sense. He didn't literally throw it, but there was but he improv'd the whole thing.
Wow. Oh my
Every
gosh.
last bit of it was improv.
He's got some talent.
And I'll tell you, that could be under some circumstances a really bad nightmare for a director. But for me, it was good. What was it? I'm not going to stop something that's that good. I'm like, baby, you got this character better than I did. So you just run with this.
There you go. Michelle likes Corey. She's got a heart up there.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for sharing the show. If you share the show, you're going to be put in for a prize because I'm going to be giving away. It's a pre-order of 13 Fanboy DVDs. So there's also another surprise. Anonymous person has donated a private reading with me. They contacted me and said, hey, can I get that and so you can give it away on Deborah Voorhees' show? And I said, absolutely. Wow. So we're going to be giving away some stuff. I was surprised. Cool. I go, okay, sounds so good. So Deborah, you got such big names and you got this together, and look at your drive to, make sure that you had the money and everything. I was blown away at how we got to, how you got it all done. And I was so proud to watch that, only because I got to have my name in the credits. I love that. What a great thing. I'll do that forever. But I had so much fun watching it because, as I've told you, I don't, usually have time, and I don't really watch too much horror. And I got to watch this, and it was just an eye opener. It was lovely. And, I just love Dee Wallace. And, but it was really scary. It was scary. And right. I think that people love nowadays to be scared. And this is the one thing I wanted to ask you about, because why it seems like more and more people are so into horror and they love to be scared. And I want to kind of get do you think something's changed in the world or what is the attraction?
I don't know if it's a change, but I think one of the reasons people enjoy horror so much, it's a safe scare. It's an adrenaline rush and it pushes the adrenaline up and it reminds us that we're alive. But you also know you're safe when you're watching a movie. You're not really worried, Now, I think, watching something like 13 Fanboy can be a little bit more scary because it's something that can happen. People, whether you're a celebrity or not, can be stalked. So when it's more of a true life thing, I think that gets scarier. But when you're talking about like Frankenstein's creature, you know that Frankenstein doesn't exist. I think to me, that's why ghost stories sometimes get me. The movies about ghosts, because it's like, prove to me it's not true. Prove to me it's not true. You are feeling lonely. Well, and you're all by yourself at home at night, late, watch a ghost story, and you'll start to feel like there are other people there.
Yeah, there are, because there are. One thing, okay, I'm gonna just segue into something else, Tim. We're gonna get back to 13 Fanboy, but you have a ghost story. And I think almost everybody has heard a lot of my ghost stories. But I love your story. Would you tell that to everybody?
Yes.
I have actually a few, but the one that, for the most part, they don't scare me, but this one time really did. And it was 4 nights straight. And on the 4th night, I ran to my mommy's house in my pajamas.
Oh.
But yeah, I was taking care of things at my grandparents' house. And I felt a hand. A hand. I don't think that it was anything trying to hurt me or anything, probably just wanted to communicate, but it scared me so bad. I think now I probably would handle it a little bit better. Maybe because, better about boundaries. No touching, no messing with my electricity.
You can tell them that, but they need a way to communicate. But they do like the freaking hair. They do. When I go on paranormal investigations, I keep it tight and round and round and round and round, because they love to pull the hair. And this is one of the things that are people that are with me, they love it because they're there, to experience. I've had some people run out of the places, I mean, immediately, but they'll just go, oh, they're pulling out my hair or they're touching me or whatever, and I go, okay, that's fine, as long as it's nothing else. But I remember being in a cemetery where we had some angry spirit that we were dealing with, and one of the persons there had a cane, and so the entities will look for who's the most vulnerable, who can they mess with that they don't have to worry about. And so somebody was keeping me busy way far away, and I heard everybody yell, and actually the people behind this woman saw something push her. And she had a cane, and I said, they do look for somebody that is the weakest one. What is it in Africa? We're going to find the antelope that isn't, the fastest.
Right.
And so yeah. But what you had with the caressing and everything is someone who's just, hello, it's okay, and I'm here.
And well, if when you saw me screaming the first night, and then the third, and then the fourth, you'd think, she's not really into this.
Yeah, right. And they'll stay there, but they're very good if you tell them what you said. There's, when they were really loud knocking in my house, I said, cut it out. That's done. You're never going to do that again. You're not allowed. I won't have it. I need to sleep. And then
Right.
from then on, they just properly knock about 4 times. But yeah, you can make boundaries, but I understand how that had to be, you know, super
Yeah.
uncomfortable when you're not. How old were you
Yeah.
when that happened?
I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
And
Well, I
so
can
that
see.
was a little bit more scary for me then.
Yeah.
Now, in the one in my home, I have had a situation. It never scared me, but I'm sitting there, hear a car drive up. The big wooden garage door goes up. You know, it makes tons of noise. Bottom drawer going into the house. Up, close. Stairs, walking up the stairs. I'm sitting on the couch. All of the dogs are at attention because they're hearing all of this too. No one's there. I'm sitting there looking and I'm seeing the steps and I hear the noise and nobody's there.
Yep. Somebody was there.
Somebody.
No, and that's the really neat part of it. Sometimes we have residual energy. So there's like those two different things. So we have somebody that always came home and walked up the stairs and went inside, and maybe, they hear something rustling. And so, but you have an entity, and I love it when things fly through my house and all that kind of stuff, or wait, the cracker box goes hello, and maybe, I love it because I know it's communication with the other side. But
Right.
I've lived with it for so long, and to me it's welcome, unless there's a lot of times where I say no or whatever. But I think it's amazing when we do hear knocks at the door, and we
Mhm.
do hear somebody walking across. And this is the thing, like in my house, I'm like, this is so cool, this is so wonderful. And my husband's like,
No, it's not.
you know, he doesn't, I see nothing, And so, it gets his comfort zone. So I ward my house, Wiccan ward my house to keep out, some of the things. So it's not
Right.
too crazy. But
Right.
those are awesome things.
Yeah. One I'll make this one's a real fast one, but it was really amazing. I had lost all of my passwords. I was really frustrated because I knew where I put them. And so I had looked and looked and looked and looked and looked and nothing. And so finally I just said, okay, guys, I know you know where these are. Just tell me. Boom. Right, just boom, right in front of me. They landed.
Just like out of nothing. That's
Out of
porting.
nothing. They just went poof. And I went, picked him up. Thank you.
Yep.
I,
There's
I
so.
I
running.
was like,
What'd you say,
it
Karen?
didn't scare me. I was just thank you. But I think back on it, I'm like, wow, that is really crazy. That's insane. But I know it happened. I was there.
Yeah,
For sure.
I would have been running out of the room, and I think my dog would have been following me. If that.
Well, they tend to take things, and if I can't find it, people say I can't find something, and I say, look, it just out, say it out loud, please bring it back. If you can, if it's urgent, bring it back now, or you can ask them to bring it back after they're finished with it. But so many stories all over the world of people even being say on vacation, and they can't find their camera that they had it, and then they go home and it's at home. I
Oh,
mean, crazy stuff. But that doesn't happen to me. And then you go back and it's like right there, right there. And you're going, okay, thank you. Just okay. But that's a common thing. But I think that's absolutely fantastic that it just comes out of the air. People can see I have a spirit trumpet there. So that's where you apport things from the other side. And I think that they just take them over to the other side. Oh, you got our passwords, guys. What are we going to do? But amazing for it just to,
Mhm.
appear and come down in front. That, and it's all, well, here you go.
Right.
And I think that also they love it when, they're validated. You go, okay, wow, look what you did. I do feel like that it does take a lot of energy for
Mhm.
them to do some of these things. And it's amazing, like, the remote control came off the TV and it floated. It didn't go down or didn't go this, what it should do. It just floated across the room at a diagonal and then to my husband's foot on the carpet and just laid down. And I go, he goes, well, that was weird. And I said, you think to get it now? And he's like, no, but but I mean, I'm like looking at this engineer saying, say, if you let's do gravity, okay, that's gravity. What just
Mhm.
happened can't happen, right? But it did. And so it's just amazing what they can do. And thank you for sharing those ghost stories. I love it.
Yeah.
I really wanted, I love like celebrity ghost stories. Kara and I do ghost stories, and it's true stories. Kara's going to be telling the Chicago stories tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And I can't wait, Kara.
I'm looking forward to it, but I think Debbie's story with the passwords freaked me out.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's one of the best ones I've ever heard, and I've heard a lot of them. I just love that something materializes, and here you go, right here. And
Mhm.
I would think there's so many times that I don't even think about it. I go like, "Oh, thank you," and go on to the next thing. When I have to sit down and go, "Oh, that was incredible," you know, wow. But sometimes it has to sink in, and we have to really go, "Wow, there's people were here and they did this."
Right.
But
Right.
let's get back to horror because we love 13 Fanboy and we want people to pre-order the DVD, which I have in the description. I have it on Psychic Fixes everywhere on Amazon, and you can get it. And it comes out March 8th, I believe. Am I
March
right?
8th. Mhm.
March 8th, and I streamed it, and we all sat down and we watched it, and we had a really great time. And it's just really amazing feat. And I want to say, it was one of those things that you did ground up. You started here and you built this thing, and you got it going, and accolades to you because it's very hard to do that, and it's very hard for women directors and producers and things, and you just like broke that ceiling of horror, and I hope you're going to do more and more and more and more.
I do want to. That's the thing that I would say to anybody is don't, whether you're a man or a woman, but particularly if you're a woman or something, um, don't ask the boys for a job. It's not that I wouldn't love to be hired by them, but just make your own path. Make your own path.
Here you have a bravo.
Thank you.
you are an
That's nice.
inspiration. You,
Pardon me?
you are an inspiration to
Oh, thank you.
because
Thank
you
you.
you were able to come up with a unique story. I mean, there's no other movie that even
Right.
compares story wise to this movie. And
Well,
you,
and the whole idea of the actors playing themselves. Yes, sometimes you'll have in a movie where a broadcaster or a celebrity will play themselves in the movie. Or once in a while, there might even be more than one person that's playing themselves, but not in this way in a horror type situation, being stalked. And so I feel like this is opening, just like found footage films started opening up a whole new genre. I think this is a new genre for horror.
I agree 100%.
It was such a good idea.
Thank
I
you.
mean, incredible idea. It just I'm still in awe. But there's one thing I want to tell everybody. Um, Deborah, not only can you do all the stuff and you did it well, and you're one of the nicest people I've ever met. And you're so caring and all these great things that you have. forgiving, loving, everything that you have. It just
Thank you.
shows what, the character that you have in you, and how wonderful and well deserved to have someone like that get the success. And you have some personal appearances, I think, coming up, don't you?
I do. I do. And I just want to thank you for that. That means more to me than anything. But I do have some stuff coming up on May. That's the next Friday the 13th. That Friday the 13th weekend, I will be in Blairstown, and we'll be doing a showing. The showing won't be until Saturday night. And Ron Sloan will be there, Haley Greenbauer, and Tracy Savage, all from 13 Fanboy. And three of us are from Friday the 13th. Haley played my granddaughter in the film, in 13 Fanboy.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And by the way, y'all notice she had a really kick-ass fight scene, and she did every single one of her stunts.
I did not know that.
Yep. She's badass, no doubt.
Well,
I'm taking care of a troll. Sorry, we did get one.
She was absolutely amazing. I did not know. So now we know how well she is as a stunt woman, because I did not realize she did all those stunts herself.
Yep, she sure did.
That's amazing.
She sure
I
did.
wanted to ask you about where you filmed.
In Ruidoso, New Mexico.
I love New Mexico.
Town. Oh, I do too. It's a beautiful place. It's a little mountain town, small ski place. Really lovely.
I love the one thing I love about New Mexico, and I'm from California, is the sky. Believe it or not, it was the sky and the weather.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like the same weather every day. Really, we have same weather. But when I went there, it was the bluest sky and the craziest, most glorious clouds up there. And then we go, oh, it's so warm. And then all of a sudden the lightning comes and the rain. And I was like, this is really good, because I'm not used to weather. It's really great.
Right.
But the people are so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible there. And I remember this one lady saying, hey, I'm going to take you to the old part of Albuquerque, and I'm going to show you everything, the Madonna in the tree and all this stuff. And we're going to go out and eat. Oh, the chilies. I had no idea. The green chilies. It was so wonderful. But what a great place to go. And I thought it would be a great spiritual place as well, or inspiring.
I think you would find it to be very spiritual and interesting. I was in London, and I met an actress. I was doing a mini con there. I was promoting 13 Fanboy, and it was a horror con. And longtime actress. She has done Shakespeare stage, and also have done some scary movies way back when. And really lovely woman. And she found out that I was from New Mexico, or I lived in New Mexico. And she said, about 40 years ago, she had a guru in London who, these are her words. He said that he sent his disciples, he referred to them as his disciples, to build a place of meditation and yoga here. Apparently it's still here. And he said that it was going to be one of the safest places on the earth, and one of the places where the love and light will go out to the rest of the world to help bring peace and calm. I thought, well, wow. All I can tell you is that, I don't know if that's right or not, but it sure felt right to me. I had gone to a horror convention in Chicago, and everything is very intense and fast paced, and everybody's talking 90 miles a minute. And I mean, lovely people, but it is intense, right? And so I'm going through the airport, and I'm just telling myself, okay, take a deep breath. Just remember that you're surrounded by nothing but angels, you know, because I was feeling really overwhelmed with all the chaos and stuff. Because I've been living in a very quiet world for a very long time. So when I go to a large city, I'm sometimes taken aback by it. It takes me, once I get used to it, I get back in the flow pretty easily, but it takes me a little bit. And so I realize I get to where my flight is supposed to be, and they say that it's been switched. And so I have to hurry up and run all the way to the other end of the airport. And I get to the place where everybody is heading back to New Mexico. I cannot tell you the difference in the energy. It went from like this to home. I was like, yeah, these are my peeps. These are the ones I understand the most.
I think if I where am I going? I am going to a place called Prescott, Arizona this year.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I want to go to Sedona because everybody says
beautiful.
I have not gone there.
Yeah.
And I want to see what a vortex is. I want to get in there. I want to, what are you talking about? I want to experience it. So I think that would be awesome. But I think for a vacation, I just love New Mexico. I was only there once for about a week, and I go, wow, this is absolutely. And talk about the filming. Having the major studios build lots there, and everybody I met was look at Stephen Bird. Stephen is known as a laughter medic. He is an actor. He's been in Independence Day.
A very talented actor.
And he's also on TikTok, and he's a laughter medic, and he's got millions of likes, and I don't know what, you've got 1 million followers now. So anyway, and thanks for doing some shout outs for 13 Fanboy, Stephen. That was appreciated. But he's a Roswell, so I want to go. Let's find out if this was aliens, because even though I lived this life of ghosts and everything, I sometimes you have to really sit and think about when people come to me and say, well, the fairies say. Fairies. Yes, and the little elementals are quite bad. Sometimes they bite, and I'm going, elementals. Okay, and so I'm that way with the UFO, and I'm like, why not? So I do want to go. Kara, we gotta have this band, like Scooby-Doo has a band, the Mystery Machine.
That's what we
need to travel. I want to go to Savannah. I want to go to all these places, but we'll have to stop in New Mexico and go to those caves. I know there's some kind of ice caves or whatever they are.
Well, you have to. Yes, that's down south, more in the Rio Doso area, just outside. So you have to let me know if you're coming this way.
Oh yeah, we want to go do everything. I was so blessed to have such great experiences there, and I mean everything that I got a meeting with a billionaire. I was like, well, this is nice. And I got a hug when I left. And just, I didn't know. Okay, you guys can laugh at me because I don't know who anybody is. And when I went there because I was invited, I was just going to be going to parties, and I didn't want to do that. I want to volunteer. I want the little volunteer t-shirt. I want the ID. I want it all. So I went and I worked on, organizing everything from the green room to the panels and checking people in. And it was so fun. But there was Robert Redford, there was Billy Redford, and I got tickets to Way of the Rain, her fantastic thing. I became buddies with David from Iceland, that was the pianist. But the funny thing was I didn't know who they were bringing back and who was on the panels. Which made it very nice. Okay, hi, how's it going? So these two guys were such characters and so nice, and I met wives and kids and everything, at the events, and they were from The Walking Dead, and was like, what's that? Don't ask. I'm not going to ask. And of course, it was like my son and my husband's favorite show. And so, just really fun things to be with the people that did the makeup for Avatar and all of this
Right.
stuff. Deborah, you've got to make sure you keep with Ivan because he's the head of it. And but what an experience, and then the people being so lovely, and so it goes right along with you being there because it's just a magical place.
It is a
And
magical place.
I will come back. I went to a place called the Castle in Albuquerque.
In Albuquerque, I don't know that.
Kind of downtown, a big old house of this eccentric lady. I met her.
Oh, okay.
Her
I'll have to check
family.
it out.
Oh, it was fun. It was an eye opener for me because I hadn't been to one of those parties where you're walking around with your champagne and all the people are models and they're almost naked. And I'm like,
I remember that was in Hollywood.
I need another drink.
With Albuquerque, we should all make a point of going, and then we can go to the Jason escape room too.
Oh, there you go.
What is that? What's that?
It's a Camp Crystal Lake escape room where they have Jason. I think they have Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. You have to escape and solve the puzzles in the woods while you're being hunted down by Jason and I think Michael and I think Freddy.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I totally would do that. I like the puzzles and stuff. So you would have somebody that could do that.
Yeah.
But we got to do that. And I see Steven has the most wonderful girlfriend, Dee. He says he'd love to see you. You guys should do something. I mean, nonetheless, he's the funniest guy. And he does the Carlton. Do you know what I mean if I say the Carlton?
Yes, the dance.
And he just was doing the Fresh Bel Air stuff today. But he does it, and I can't stop laughing. I can't. He's great. So, Michelle's on board. We have to pick her up in the van.
Oh, she's only about 5 hours from me, so we could just scoop and run.
Oh, there we go. We want to do that.
Where are you guys at?
I'm in Southern Illinois. I'm in a red zone, and she's in Chicago, where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
So awesome. She's right on the lake. She's got some hauntings going on in her building and in her apartment too.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
So one night we have to have her on and tell her ghost stories.
Of course. Anybody watching? Mm-hmm. I'm from San Diego, California.
Yes, I knew you were on the East Coast. That's a beautiful area.
We had 90-degree days, and then we had something called water come down from the sky, which is not very often. But we have beautiful beaches.
Rain.
I know. We do not know. It's like nobody knows how to drive back there in Illinois and stuff. Nobody knows how to drive in the snow, and here in San Diego, nobody knows what to do when it rains. And but we do have the most beautiful places, La Jolla, we have beaches. So this is a good place for us to have our conventions right here.
Good.
Kate said she's sad she's in the UK. You do have 1 month a year. That's good, right? Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Well, we do have a little bit of time left, so I want to show everybody what the DVD looks like, and some of the pictures too that you do have. I'm not sure how we're going to look bringing in one more thing, but let's see. Here we go. That is. We're over here. We're little munchkins over here. 13 Fanboy. What a great mask, by the way. Did you have to have that, originally made?
I did. I had it specially made by a guy by the name of Marcio Charlie. He's out of Brazil, and I think he did a fantastic job. I told him that I wanted something skeletal. I gave him a couple of ideas, but he really ran with it and did it. I told him I wanted it. It is a full hood with the back and face and everything, and I love it.
I've had a lot of people ask if you're going to actually be selling the mask because people want it.
Yes, we are. We are.
Oh, look at Michelle says, Wicked awesome. Are you from Maine? Wicked
Thank you.
awesome mask. Awesome.
From
It
North
really is.
Chicago, we say wicked awesome too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like another language. Whenever I go, I assimilate, though. I got to tell you, I went to Texas and y'all. I mean, it only took a week. It only took a week.
That southern accent can kick in really easily.
It's so funny, but it does happen. Um,
Mhm.
so I love that that you had that one. I think is, I've seen the mask before. I think is the best one that I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you.
It
I think
really, really
Marco
was
did a
good.
fantastic job. We just love it.
And you do we still have you have a shop where people can get merchandise as well, I believe,
We
because
do.
I
It's
bought
on
some stuff.
Spreadshirt. And if you go to Spreadshirt and put in 13 Fanboy, my page will come up. It's also really easy to just put in Spreadshirt/13 Fanboy and it should come up.
Okay, that's going to be, we'll put that on Facebook so
Okay.
everybody can go. I bought the buttons. I had a wonderful show in which we gave away a lot of stuff.
Oh,
We had so much fun and talking about horror and this, that, and the other. And then I just gave like 13 things away. So it was fun. I still have some of the little buttons though with the mask on it. It's kind of
neat.
scary. But anyway, so you have that, and so we're going to be coming out in DVD,
Mhm.
and let's see what else. They can stream it, and there's up and coming on being able to just go watch it on a device. So be looking for
Right.
that when that comes out. And but I just think it was so neat and so well done. And do you have anything else coming up as far as where do you go from here? I know we still have to advertise it and still you have your engagements and you see everyone.
Right. Right.
Um, but
Promotions and
did
stuff.
you got something going on in your brain for the next step?
I do. I am really that I'm kind of in an early stages of trying to figure things out. I'm looking at a true life ghost story. Um, and if this one doesn't work out, then I'll be looking for something. I love ghost stories. To me, they're just really scary and fun. I'm open to a lot of ideas. I've got, so it's possible it could be out of the horror area, but right now I'm looking really strongly at wanting to do something in the ghost realm. It is possible we will do a sequel, but we just need to give it a little more time and make sure that it's financially wise to make that decision.
Mm-hmm. Well, it really is a fabulous movie. It's so good. And it was so needed and unique and unlike everybody else's. And I
Well,
love
I
that.
had so many fans coming to me and asking me, horror fans who love the Friday the 13th franchise and stuff and love Halloween. They love the slashers. And they're like, can't you do something and bring back some of these people? Well, most of them had these ideas that all revolved around it being a Friday the 13th movie. And, first, we don't even know who owns the rights to everything right now because that's
Mm-hmm.
still being decided in court. So, who are you even going to ask if you're going to go do that? Plus, the cost of something like that can be pretty outrageous. So, we had to do something different, something outside of the franchise, our franchises. And that's when this idea came about. And to me, it's much scarier. Like when I go and see Halloween or Friday the 13th or something, it's more like, there's a lot of laughter when you're watching a movie like that in the audience. It's because, people love the jump scares. They love, oh, that scared me. And they're laughing at themselves because they just got scared and they even knew that this was coming, right? And so they're laughing at themselves. And so it's kind of more of a fun thing. You leave the theater, you laughing, you're having a good time. It was a safe scare. Nobody's worried about it actually happening. And with 13 Fanboy, we're looking at a stalker, and that can happen to anyone. And so that is scarier, and that's very different. And you might actually go like this in the parking lot, you know?
100 people know someone who's been stalked.
Right. We actually had Judy Aronson, who's in the film, was stalked. Lar Park Lincoln, who's in the film, was stalked. Adrienne King, our first final girl in Friday the 13th, she was stalked and consequently did not feel comfortable being a part of the film.
Yeah.
And, so everybody handles those sort of situations differently. I've had issues with stalkers before, but not to their same degree. I was a Playboy bunny at the Dallas Club, and I'll tell you what, there was a lot of wonderful things about it, but I did have issues with more than one member of the club following me home.
Oh man.
The one that freaked me out the most, first of all, I learned how to drive very fast and quick and lose somebody, because once I figured out that I was being followed from the club at times, I would watch behind me. And one time in particular really was unnerving to me, and that was, I pull up and there was a guy from the club that I felt very comfortable with and didn't have any fear about him at all. And I'm just like, hey, I didn't know you lived around here. He goes, well, this is embarrassing. And I went, what? And then he proceeds to let me know that, he'd been following me. He goes, and who is that you stop out at such and such address?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's my boyfriend. Well, lovely to see you. Bye.
Oh,
I didn't break stride. On the inside, I was screaming bloody murder.
Right.
On the outside, I acted like everything was just fine and there's nothing wrong. Because sometimes the safest way to stay safe is to not let the predator know you're feel threatened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So there's personal experience that contributed to some of probably the emotions and things that happened in the acting on that.
That and also we the way the story came about was because my producing partner was asking me about horror fans. And I said, horror fans are great. I mean, really, I can tell you, for the number of horror fans out there, I mean, you're always going to have a problem with a certain number of people, no matter how kind you are to them, how much you try and be nice to them. Some are not going to be nice back. And that's okay. But we're talking about, compared to the size of that is minuscule, tiny in comparison. So there have been a handful of people that over time I have had to block for one reason or another. And in one case, I had somebody message me on Facebook Messenger and basically said, wouldn't it be cool if you died in real life like you did in Friday the 13th?
Oh, Lord.
And that unnerved me. It made me feel very unsettled. So I blocked that person. And as you may know, that's actually a line in the film.
Yes.
And 3 weeks later, I'm alone late at night in my office. It's dark outside. Obviously, it's late at night. I have a single light on, and I'm working on a screenplay. My phone dings. I look at it, and it says, I'm watching you. I don't know if it was the same person or not. Then ding, ding, ding. And it was the person was pretending to be Jason, said that and he was basically there to kill me. Well, from where I was sitting, I didn't have my drapes drawn. They could have been looking right at me.
Oh my God.
And so that comment at that moment, if I had been in a solid room where there was no way they could be watching me, that might not have unnerved me as much, but definitely the following text did. So I blocked that one. Well, I explained this to my producing partner, and he said, "That's our movie." No, that's way too scary.
That's
Way
frightening.
too scary.
And I'm so sorry of everybody that has experienced that. But you need to have me around because a burglar, well, I won't say it. Can I say a pervert? A pervert went over to my neighbor's house and went in their house. It was in their house, and she happened to walk in right into him. And
Oh
he
my
got away.
gosh.
And all I could say is, why didn't he come to my house? Because I'm ready for him, But I've always been that way, And
Right.
so I started in law enforcement, so in my career. So I was like, oh shoot, he just should have tried it. Just you try it. I'm older now, but I still have that. I still like, yes, yes. But
Right.
no, frightening stuff, all kinds of scary stuff out there in the world. But this, at least it made for this really good movie and plot and all of that, which, I just loved and adored. And we're coming up on the end of the time that we have. So again, we'll be promoting the DVD that's coming out, and I'm also giving 2 away right now. And I already selected the people. And so, Michelle, let me get you, Michelle. Here, Michelle, let me get your good thing. You say horrible. But Michelle, you won a private reading with me, and that was donated by an anonymous person that watches the show. So all you have to do is Facebook private message me, and we'll get that arranged. Kimmy. Kim. Oh, sorry. There was Michelle again. They move, and Michelle goes, hooray. Kimmy, you won the DVD 13 Fanboy. So I will be getting that to you. And one other person here, this is exciting. I love giving stuff away. It's just like one of my favorite things.
Yes.
So let me find the person. And so Kimmy, please message me. So this is going to be fun because Kate, you're in the UK. So Kate, I will be sending you an Amazon code equivalent so that you can go ahead and buy yourself 13 Fanboy. So awesome. Possum. I love that. I love doing that. So, okay, there we go. Okay, so we're going to get you out there and get everybody to see 13 Fanboy. I said from the beginning, I told my whole family, and I said it on my shows, cult classic. This is going to be a classic,
Yes.
and that people are just going to follow forever. And it's
Thank
just
you.
so fabulous. And Kara, do you have any last words?
I am so gobsmacked to be able to promote this movie because you brought to life everything that a fan of the franchise has been needing and wanting since this stupid lawsuit started. And I am grateful and humble to be a part of getting the word out and promoting this wonderful film. And I look forward to a part 2 really bad.
Thank you so much. And I'm so honored that you guys had me on. I thank you so much for everything. I really do.
Oh, this is a thrill. Such a highlight for us, Deborah.
Oh, yes.
And, just to be able to talk to you, I think people can see how down to earth you are and how sweet and how people can just look up to you and say, look at what you accomplished. Maybe this is inspiring these young people in film to go out and step into that because it's amazing. Nothing was handed to you. You did it all from the ground up, and that we, applaud you for that for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and end the show, but you guys, tomorrow, Kara and I will be doing Chicago part one, because Kara's this great storyteller, and we've got lots of Chicago stories. Part one, and it's 6 p.m. Pacific time on Psychic Fixes and on YouTube. And please come watch us, and because they're super scary and fun. And I don't know anything about Chicago. I'm going to learn so much about it. Appalachian Mountains, now I got that down. There's a scary place to have a ghost story filmed. Oh my gosh.
That is a good place.
The ghost horse. My son came and got a hold of me. He said, "Mom, the ghost horse story she told." And I said, "I know." I hear dog stories, dog ghost stories, and I communicate with them. But a horse is amazing. Kara, you've got great stories. So we will see you guys tomorrow, Saturday. And then we've got some people saying, yes, good show. Thank you, guys. You're everything to us. The people watch us. That's it. That's everything, you guys. We love you. You are it for us. So thank you so much for being so gracious and watching all the shows. And we will be on tomorrow and see you then. So we're going to say goodbye, you guys, and nobody click off. Stay here. We're going to end the broadcast. Bye-bye, everybody.